What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. In here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, spread Astaire? How are you this morning?
Man, what a morning at the French Open with Zverev knocking off my guy, Carlos Alcaraz, the guy that I expected to win the tournament. I didn't think Alcaraz played bad. I thought Alexander Zverev played great. I mean, what a great morning it's been, man. It's just, I love this time of year. Just wake up and there's just action on from the second I wake up.
Yeah, I barely get sleep because I have to watch these matches, not only for the scouting purposes, but most of all, just because I really just enjoy competition and watching them play, man. And I got up about 3 this morning. I tried to go to sleep about 10 so that I could have at least 4 hours sleep. Got up about 3 this morning. Watched Fernandez match against Tresvant. Great job by Tresvant getting over the hump and getting out that game, and ended up winning the match after almost blowing the match in the second set when she lost the tiebreaker and had served for the match. Then after that, we saw a great match between Sloane and Coco. I had a future on Sloane, so I lost a little money on that one, but it's okay. I'm very proud of Coco and what she was able to produce. She played some outstanding tennis. There's not too many girls on the tour that would have beat her this morning. Sloane definitely played well, and that was a very entertaining match. But the match of matches, like you said, was Zverev and Carlos Alcaraz, man. Unbelievable match. You know, Zverev's been my boy a long time. He was my favorite tennis player forever on the men's side, and I still follow him a lot. But I used to really bet him a lot and keep up with his game. He disappointed me so bad. Remember when he blew that match at the U.S. Open against Team
That
when
was
he was
bad.
2-0? That was a horrible loss right there. And after that, I kind of pulled back from him on betting him as much because I was like, can this guy really get it done? You know, when it really counts, when all the marbles on deck, you know, and everything's for all the marbles. And you know, I kind of questioned him, but today he stood up. He made a very good, did a very good job, excuse me, of matching Carlos Alcaraz's unbelievable skill that he has. Great shot making by both players. Zverev just had a little bit too much, and he sounded very confident as we were speaking before the show came on. He sounded very confident, like he thinks he can win this thing and get his first Grand Slam. He seems like he thinks that now that he got past Alcaraz, that Djokovic would be pretty easy.
Okay.
Good luck, right?
Yeah. Yep. I mean, hey, you gotta love the confidence, right? The last thing you want to hear is like, "Well, I won today, but I'm not going to win tomorrow," right? I mean, you can't say that,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think maybe a little bit too much pro wrestling style bravado there.
Well, this is what happened. They asked him a question. They said, "How do you feel? Well, what do you feel? Do you have to do? The most important thing you have to do to win this tournament?" He says, "I feel like I've already done that." He said, "I beat the best clay player in the world this year." That's
Yeah,
exactly what
yeah.
he said. So good that he's confident. Let's get to yesterday's news, man. We had a great week last week.
I
Uh,
know. I was just thinking I need to make up a little graphic that said today's news as we're breaking down the matches right after we come on,
right,
right?
right,
But
right,
usually I
right.
throw the yesterday's news segment on when we're talking about all these results, but that's actually today's news.
Yeah,
Yesterday's news, man, I did not get the perfect week. My apologies. I had the under on Friday night. We
that's
both
okay.
had a blowout. We stayed
Yeah,
away from the side. We thought the spread was too high and Boston didn't show up. And I'll tell you what, okay, so we lost the bet. I mean, it was on pace for the under. I should have gave out the first half under. My apologies there. These
yeah.
guys just started making every shot in the third quarter. The Heat come back. They get the win in Miami. Boston goes down, takes care of business at home on Sunday. Threw me off, man. We talked about this on the show. I I called my buddy. I said, hey, because I'm redoing some stuff in my house. He's helping me. I said, I got the whole weekend open on Friday morning, right? I said, "Oh, got no NBA till next Thursday."
Yeah, right.
Yeah, they end up having the show on Sunday. We didn't even finish all the work. You know, we're painting my house. We didn't finish till the third quarter, right? But
Yeah.
Boston got the win. I'll tell you what, my main takeaway is though, and I'll be interested to see how we are in the series. I think I'm going to be against a lot of people here, but NorCal represent, right? Um, I worry about Boston being able to put together these performances because that Heat series should have been easier than it was, right? At
Yeah.
no time, right? You know, when people said Boston's the better team, I didn't argue, but they're a lot better. I mean, the Heat are a bunch of undrafted free agents, man, and yes, they play great, and Jimmy Butler played out of his mind. But still, man, Boston can't seem to put together these two good performances in a row. We haven't talked yet. I don't know who you're on for the finals. But if you were going to take Boston, I would be a little worried about their inability to close at home in that game 6 and really not to put together 2 games in a row. That they played well. They did once in the series. I think it was game 2 and 3. And then they did it once in the Milwaukee series, but they followed up a lot of great games with a lot of duds. What are your thoughts on just the NBA finals coming up?
My thoughts are that the Celtics have a puncher's chance, and also the Celtics have been through some playoff series that I feel like have them a little bit more sharpened right now than the Warriors are. A lot of people are looking at it because of these series because the series went long in the East that Boston isn't as good as look at how Steph, because it's this old feeling around a sports betting world that the West is better than the East, and it isn't this year. It just simply wasn't. The East was better this year. It was just better than the West was, and they beat the Nets with KD and Kyrie, 2 of the top players in the league. They beat the world champions, the Bucks,
who I was on. So
exactly, who was probably the toughest.
You got to give them credit for that. You got to give them credit for that.
And they beat the Heat, which had the number 1 seed and home court advantage.
And they beat them at home in Miami on Game 7.
Beat them at home.
You got to give them credit.
Remember, I've been saying 7. Remember, I said Boston to 7 before the series, and it ended up going to 7, and they won to 7.
Yeah, nailed it.
Pretty much what's the thing why I give the Celtics a great chance. Remember, I've been beating on this probably since January. They don't lose 2 games in a row. And you've seen
they don't win 2 games in a row, though. That's my issue.
But as long as they don't lose 2, they're okay. As long as they don't lose 2, they're okay. So I like that a lot. I think they're battle tested, and I think that a lot of people are sleeping on the talent that they have. And also, I don't know if the Warriors have faced the defense like they're going to face with Boston, but also Boston hasn't faced the type of offense with the free-flowing motion offense that the Warriors run. They've been playing a lot of people who play pretty much like they play, that one-on-one old school style ISO or pick and roll basketball, which is, eyes in front of you and just stay in front of your man. It's going to be a little bit different with the Warriors, with the plays that this Kerr draws. Kerr's probably the best offensive coordinator in NBA. He has some unbelievable plays that get the guys wide open shots, a lot of back picks, a lot of layups and everything like that. So that'll be very interesting for me to see. Going back to Friday, as you said, we were 6-2 on the week. We can't complain. We end up following with your under and with mine as well with Grant Williams. He didn't even play. He was he had 4 fouls in the first quarter.
Was it foul trouble? I know that he didn't foul trouble.
I think he got up 3 shots. I think he got 3 shots up the whole game, man. Every time he got in and he's one of those guys that when he gets in this little mood, he's like Artest. You're either going to get really a good performance out of him or a super shitty one. You know what I mean? And he was having one of those ones where he was just couldn't do anything right. He was stepping on his own feet all game. Jimmy Butler, shout out to Tom Ball Jimmy. He came through, and scored. He hit the chopper for 47 at Boston. Great performance. Was able to extend it a little bit, but just as we said, I knew that by the time we got here on Monday that he'll be out of here. He'll be already gone home and already being.
Can you believe he pulled up for that 3 though? I thought he was going to the rack. I thought they were finna win. I was like, why did he pull up?
It's the same exact thing as KD did, except he doesn't have the shooting percentage. And what I mean by that is
pulling up, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's why I said he doesn't have the shooting percentage.
Butler's one of the best finishers in the league, and he could have got an and one.
KD too, but this is the problem. This is why he did it. That's what I was going to say. Just like KD shouldn't have pulled that shot either, but he did to try to end the game. Jimmy was tired, man. He was tired. They had warm out. He was finished. Yeah. He didn't want to go to overtime.
I know. I hated that. That.
He'll tell you. He said on the interview, I saw it. It was a good shot to try to get the lead.
It was a good shot. And if it goes in, right, can you imagine the conversation we're having today? I mean, we're talking about him as a top 5 guy in the league if that goes in. So
yeah, he just didn't have the juice to pull it off. He didn't have the juice to pull it off. He was out. He was completely.
When they were on the fast break, though, I had visions of and one in my head, and I said, "The Celtics are going home. I'm gonna have so much fun next week."
Right.
Right, because I was, I've been down. I'm not as high on the Celtics as everyone else. So
I was grateful. I had a ticket on them. I had a ticket on them to go to win the East, so I was pretty happy about that.
Yeah, but a great pick because let's be honest, they deserved to win that game. Miami was lucky to even be in that position, right? And so it didn't come down to just that shot.
Marcus Smart did everything he could to give Miami the game.
Yeah,
Marcus
great
Smart
player.
has to be. They have to contain him. His coaching staff has to talk to him about what he's doing at the end of these games. This is probably the third or fourth game I've seen his playoffs. We did that where he thinks that he's the number one option just because he's had a cool game, has about 20 points. Now he's going into the mode of looking to score. He's not getting the ball to Brown, not getting the ball to Tatum. Like the last 4 minutes, he fired up a lot, 5 3-point shots. They had a double-digit lead, and that's how Miami was able to get back into the game because Marcus Smart was taking some horrible shots. He kept shooting three. Dude, they're leaving you open to shoot the three for a reason. You know what I mean?
know.
Like
I
they
agree.
want you to keep shooting that, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You know, like at least dribble, drive, and maybe do a kick or maybe try to get a layup to Horford. Like, what are you doing? He just kept shooting the three, and that put them back in the game. Great run by the Heat. Salute to that whole Miami organization, man. Those guys really have fight in them. A lot of people giving a lot of laughs and stuff about Haslam being upset. Man, Haslam really was upset and really felt like he lost the game too. Whether he plays or not, dude, he's giving his whole life to that Miami Heat organization. You know, he's a Heat lifer. When he could play, he gave them minutes doing all the dirty work, and now he mentors.
Were you the one who retweeted that said who people clowning on Haslam is corny?
Yeah, that corny, man.
It's
I'm
corny.
The one who retweeted it.
He's a major part of that organization, and it doesn't matter if you're on the court or you're just mentoring people. You're still going to have an emotional investment. It's like the coach being upset, right? I mean, yeah.
These corny fans, look, these corny fans, they're trying to laugh at him for crying, but they're crying and they don't have a penny on it. They haven't made a quarter with Miami.
Those same ones are mad that Tyler Hero was at the club after the game. Like, and weren't you the one that tweeted that too? After you have a bad day at work, go get your mind off it. What? I mean, to be fair, I probably would go home, but I'm not going to blame him. It's only because I get in a pissy mood after I lose, and I don't want to be around other people because I'll say a bunch of stuff I regret.
It's unrealistic, the type of stuff, just because these guys make 7 figures plus, people try to hold them to standards that they shouldn't, because they're not the only people making 7 figures plus. You look at the bankers, it's people on Wall Street making that type of money, people in Silicon Valley making that money.
I've gone out after having a 4-digit down day, and I still go out that night. What am I going to do? Just sit at home because I lost my bet? Because Quinn Win Zhang won the first set and then blows it against Iga. I knew as soon as she won that first set yesterday, I lost my bet. We're going all over the place here. But you know what? That's what I hate about social media the most. Is all these dudes do, and they're not guys like us that have a lot of things going on in their life, that are excited to go out and do stuff, that are excited about the next day. They're at jobs they don't like, or they're living at home, and all they want to do is tear people down. That's why when Sloan lost today, you didn't hear everyone Sloan. How about we just give Coco credit? Is that so hard? Is that so hard?
Thank you, Spread. Thank you. They both played well. Sloan got fallen. She was even supposed to. Believe me, after everything calms down, her camp was thrilled with her performance. Believe that. And the check that they made and the money that they made. So
it's great momentum going into Wimbledon.
Great momentum going to Wimbledon. Hopefully she can save her season in the second half. And you know her best tournament is the U.S. Open.
She knows she's going to ball on that hardcourt swing.
Oh, yeah, she's going to ball on U.S. Open. So, you know, it's nothing. And golf is just a great player, man. She's up and coming. She got a chance to be one of her idols because she looked up to Sloan growing up like she looked up to the Williams girl. So it's a good thing, man. And like you said, it's just a bunch of haters. They turn fan into fanatic, man. They tried to make it short, but it's still a fanatic. That's basically what it boils down to. We did really well.
I swear, it's like rather than be inspired by the great things these athletes are doing, they just looking for chinks in the armor, right? They just looking for mistakes. I guess it's the only way they can relate is if someone's family. The only way they relate when you're a loser. But anyway, we won on the USFL. You got those in, right? Yeah, I got those in.
The only one we lost was the best team in the league. They decided not to show up, kind of get in the field like where the best team make sure that they don't cover because they know everybody's on them. So Birmingham didn't cover, but everybody else did that thing. You saw Houston once again. Houston is the only team that's won every first half in the USFL, and I'll be on them again this weekend against Tampa Bay. But I'm sure, just like the other games, they'll lose the game, but they'll win the first half. So I don't know. Kevin Summerlin's going to be the first coach fired in the USFL. It's going to be hilarious.
Yeah, maybe get him to high school.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. And what I want to ask you too about the finals, isn't it ironic? It's kind of poetic justice that Kyrie and KD's former teams are playing for the championship, right?
I know, huh? Hey, those guys wanted to be the man. They wanted to be the individuals. So, it's a team sport. We talk about it all the time, and I say 20th time I say it on the show, but they're right. Tatum versus Curry, NBA Finals. No, it's the Warriors versus Celtics. So, because let's be honest, KD would probably win games one-on-one against most of these players, right? I mean, but it's a 5-on-5 game, and team basketball matters. So,
imagine the Warriors as they're constructed now, because remember, they didn't give up anything for KD. KD was a free agent.
Yeah.
As they're constructed with KD, the Celtics as they're constructed with Kyrie, because the only thing they're missing is Kyrie. Like Marcus Smart is cool, he plays defense, but imagine if they had Kyrie running the point guard with them. Oh my God, their offense would be spectacular, you know. But these guys
they
are
want
learning
to just go hang out and be buddies and burn sage, and that's what they want.
And it's good for fans like us who really enjoy sports and the team competition, and it's good also for the league to show that, hey man, you can bounce around, do all this teaming up stuff you want. You got to still play basketball as a team and get to know each other, man, and get some type of rhythm together. You can't just make it happen overnight, microwave it. We're talented, we're going to go win. It doesn't work that way. Let's get to today's ball and parlay. We got tennis, man. We talk a little French Open before we give out our picks, man. I was talking to you about the men's draw, man. The top half is looking real strong. We got Zverev. He just beat Alcaraz. The winner out of that match, which ended up being Zverev plays, the winner of Djokovic and Nadal. That half is so strong. And then you got the bottom half with Cilic and Ruud and Rune. I don't know how they seeded this like this. What do you think happened?
Well, yeah, because Tsitsipas is out, right? And so he was the high seed.
He would have had a clear walk to the championship if he'd have beat Rune, seems like.
Yeah, so what a great spot for Holger Rune here. And going into this tournament, Holger Rune had never won a match at a Grand Slam level. Now he's got a chance to make the semifinals, and he's playing well. Casper Ruud beat him in Monte Carlo. Casper Ruud's 3-0 ahead, but I still think, Rune's got a good chance, and I like Ruud to win, but it's one of those things. I would not be surprised if Holger Rune continued his run. One of the reasons I like Casper Ruud to win, though, I think stylistically it's good for Ruud because I think Ruud really absorbs opponent's pace as well. So while Rune can hit harder, I don't think that Ruud's flustered by that, and I think he's actually a little bit more comfortable, right? Almost like Svitolina, who doesn't like to dial up he doesn't want to dial up his own power. He just wants to use yours.
He's human backboard. That's how he plays. He's looking for use your power against you. So like you said, that's why he's 3-0 against Rune. But Rune is, man, that kid's electric. He's hot right under Alcaraz. He's probably the best young boy coming up right now. He won the French Open as a junior before, so he's very familiar with the Roland Garros clay. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see an upset there and Rune pulls it off, man. But it's gonna.
I gotta say, those are the two clay quarters left. If anyone's gonna win from the bottom, it's the winner of this match.
Okay.
Right? I mean, Cilic or Rublev's gonna have a lot of problems against Djokovic, Alcaraz.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. We'll get to that match last, since we're gonna give that one out. What about the women's side? We saw Coco with an impressive win today. She beat Sloane Stephens, who she had never beaten before. Looked unbelievable. I mean, the court coverage was amazing. She faces Tresvian. What do you think about that match coming up?
I like Coco to win. I don't think Trevisan's getting the respect from the odds makers that she should. What is it? I had it pulled up right before we started. Let me pull it back up right now.
It's
plus 233.
Yeah, that's too much. I'm taking Tresvant. I hate to do it. I like Coco, but man, that's too much Coco value. Too. I gotta go with Tresvant.
Yeah, I agree there. Just off the price, that's a price match, and I think that's where people watch the show. If you're new bettors, you might get confused. Well, do you think that Trevisan's going to beat Coco? Not necessarily, but let me pull up my odds converter here real quick because I can't do 233 off the top of my head. But it's going to come out to only like 30-something%. So 30%. I should have been able to do that. That's only 30%. It wasn't some. So we're just saying that we think that Trevisan wins more than 3 out of 10 times, right? So we're not saying don't take anything out on the mortgage. Don't go higher than 1 unit or what you normally bet. But that's just a case where you're betting the number and not the player.
Okay, let's get to the top half. We got your girl Daria Kastakina against Kudermatova. That's a Noop's girl, Kuder Monster.
Yeah, so, the Kuder Monster. They're facing off, both Russians. They played each other before. Dasha's got the victories. Another one where I like the way that Dasha matches up. Boy, she's really came into her own. And if anything, her style is obviously most suited for the clay court game. When she was young, I thought she'd be the next Halep. I think the issue has been that she's not developed that second serve. She's been able to get away with it here on this tournament because she's just breaking left and right. On this slow clay, she can actually be aggressive the way she attacks the second serve on her opponent's first serve. She's breaking at like 46% on the year. Which is just fantastic numbers. In contrast, Iga is the best in the world right now. She's breaking at 56%, right, which is unheard of. So Dasha's up there where it would be where like one of the normal top break percentages is. That's where Simona was. So even though she's not able to hold serve, she puts pressure on almost every single service game. And on this clay, where once 2 rallies in, it doesn't matter who's serving. It makes it so much easier to get the break. It's playing in for her well. But once again, the market giving her a little too much love. I got plus 156 on
looking good to me with
Kudermetova.
that number.
Yeah, we'll use the handy odd converter again, plus 156, 39%, right? So 4 out of 10 on a match that's a 50-50 with the way that Kudermetova has been playing, right? Not 50-50. I give Dasha a slight edge, but I don't know if I give her that full 20% edge there. So I like Dasha to win. I'll be rooting for her. But once again, the numbers say if you're going to bet this match, Kudermetova is one where the value's at.
Yeah, she has the value because the only time they played, it was a 2-1. It went to a deciding set. But like you said, your girl Dasha is playing ball, man. She's looking good. She's looking like when I used to bet her all the time, maybe like 5 years ago. Remember she dominated
2018, 2019, when she
Oh,
just
dude,
would
when she
not
played
quit.
indoor in Russia,
Yeah.
it was good money. You could just bet her
Yeah.
every time when they played indoor matches in Russia, man. She was
Mm-hmm.
killing the game back then. And she's always been her and Sloane have some of the most beautiful ball placements from the baseline that you're gonna see. She's one of those girls too. And as you said, she has a super high break percentage, almost as high as Swiatek, who we're gonna get to now. She's playing Pagula. Does Pagula have a chance? She's beaten her before.
She's got a chance. But stylistically, I thought that Qinwen Zhang had a better chance to beat Iga than Pagula does. Just because Zhang can just dial up that power. In the first set where she was able to win, you saw it, right? Where Iga kind of was a little bit surprised. Because Iga's used to being the hardest hitter on the court, right? And, unless you play Sabalenka or Keys, which, whatever. She's like, you guys are going to hit it out. I'll hit it in.
You're going to hit it out of bounds.
Yeah. So, I thought she was a little bit flustered at first. And then, of course, Zhang started cramping, and physically you could see she just wasn't the same. And it was just disappointing, that on the stage, she's ready to make this leap, and for her body to betray her like that was, I think, rough for us to watch it as fans, and as far as Swiatek, you got the ticket, you enjoyed it, but it was kind of an anticlimactic ending here. I don't think Pagula matches up as well, especially on this style of clay. If I want to take Pagula against Swiatek, I want one of those quick courts like Cincinnati, right? Those fast, low courts where Iga's not going to be able to get as much time, and she can actually get her on the defensive. Here, I think even if Pagula puts her full force in the ball, because she can't dial it up like Zhang or Swiatek. I mean, she can hit. She's a power player, but she can't hit like them. I think that even the toughest shots, her hardest shots are going to be a little bit easier for Iga to handle with how slow everything's playing. They're also playing at the daytime, which makes the bounce a little bit higher because the Rune match will be the night match right now, or for tomorrow, I mean. So that's another advantage to Swiatek. So this is the only one where I don't think it's a numbers game, right? Plus 571 for Pagula, but I actually don't think there's value there. Obviously, I'm not laying 909 with Swiatek, but I don't think that the way they match up, I can't see Pagula do it. And also, I think losing that set yesterday maybe sharpened up Iga's focus a little bit. Maybe she's getting a little complacent, just winning so easily. I thought it was a nice, slap back to reality there, which is actually bad for Pagula. You want her coming in a little bit overconfident or something, right? So it's a tough matchup. Hey, anything can happen though, because I thought that Alcaraz was going to beat Zverev today. So they play the match for a reason, and Pagula's she's to me, I love the mental aspect of her game. I like the way that she works so hard. She obviously loves the sport. She doesn't need the money, and she's not like a natural athlete as well, where they would have plucked her out, and sent her to a camp
not at all.
It's all hard work, but unfortunately, she's playing a hard worker that's ultra talented.
Late bloomer. I remember watching her climb. She used to be one of my quickest fades back in the game. I used to
Yeah,
always bet
she
against
wasn't
her.
good.
She wasn't good
She
forever.
was
When she
getting
was
wild
young, she
cards
was
because of her
horrible.
family. Yeah.
She was horrible. She was an ITF type tennis player, man, back then.
Yeah.
But she's worked her butt off, and salute to her and her family because her dad, was a great supporter of hers, and he's doing a hell of a job with the Bills too. They got the premier game too in the NFL on the first kickoff game. I can't wait to see that against the
Oh, did
Rams.
they? Who is it?
Yeah,
Bills
the
Rams?
Bills. Yeah, they play the Rams. Yeah, in LA. Gonna be a good
Man, I
game. I'll be
can't
on.
wait, man.
I'll be on
I
Josh
like
Allen.
summer, and I've always been a summer kid, right? Because I was a tennis player growing up, and
Yeah,
baseball was different when we were kids,
yeah,
right? Because we didn't have this inundation of sports wherever. So, I watched my A's every night, watched the Giants, and
yeah.
we didn't have so many freaking options. Like now I can watch any tennis match in the world. In fact, I was getting ready for Rude Rune, writing a little article about it. I could just go up there. I'm like, oh, let me just watch them play in Monte Carlo. Because in my head, I
Right.
was like, I didn't really pay attention to that match. I don't think I would, the result, so let me go rewatch and see what happened, And it's funny and it's so cool to be able to do that. The first thing that points out to you is how different the clay in Monte Carlo plays. Right? Like
Right.
Pagula would have a better chance on that Monte Carlo too. It's not bouncing the same.
Right.
And Rune really looked like he'd dial up more than when I watched him here. So, it's so much different. But yeah, I can't wait for football, man. Just the shows, the content that we're going to be able to create,
Oh man,
and just
we're right around the corner. We're getting short, man.
yeah, we just got to sweat for 2 months, right?
Yeah,
And
we
have
got
our
to
air conditioning on a max.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pagulia, man, I don't give her much of a chance either against Swiatek. She does have a lot of heart though. She's gonna fight to the end, and like you said, she does have a great demeanor about herself on the court because she gets into some situations where she blows some sets and she just stays even keeled and is able to overcome and still win the match. And she's done that twice already because I thought that she was dust against Bagu. I had Bagu in that match, and she fought back and ended up dominating the deciding set. So if we get Swiatek, we're gonna say your girl Dasha. I'm gonna be betting live breaks over and over and over.
Yeah.
The breaks are gonna be unbelievable in that game because the breaks probably for Swiatek gonna be like plus 400 for Kostakina. And
I
then
hope we get it, but that's a bad matchup for Dasha too.
yeah, she's
It's
a
a bad
bad one.
match.
Yeah.
There's not
I
because
think she could break her though twice. She could break her at least twice
she could
each
break
set,
her
I
here
think.
and there, but those extended rallies where Dasha usually has the advantage because she's so consistent. Fiontek can just fall back into defensive play too and just say, oh, you want to hit? I'm fine, So
What is Swiatek? How many matches does she need to win to eclipse Venus or at least to tie it? The
it
record
would
that
be
Venus has.
tied if she wins the title. It'll be
Okay,
tied.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so she could tie it if she wins the title.
Yeah, so
It'll
she
be
would break that. She would break it in her first tournament afterwards, and my guess is she's probably going to take it easy and just maybe play one warm-up event on grass and Wimbledon. She probably only plays 2 tournaments. She only
The
plays one.
French Open dream is for Coco to beat Tresvant, of course, get her out the way because the kind of
Yeah,
brand Coco is. Play Swiatek, and now it's for the tie Venus. And her hero growing up was Venus. She kind of looks like her, kind of plays
yeah,
like her. That'll
yeah,
be just a great
yeah.
what is it, Sunday
I mean,
morning, right?
if Coco had Venus's forehand, she'd be the best player. she'd
If
be
she
able to
had
beat
her
Beyonce.
forehand
That's like her
with
biggest weakness. Would have looked good today. I
her
thought
best shot
SCOON
is
was
her
going to
two
take
hand.
advantage of that.
Her two hand backhand is awesome.
Oh,
She
her
can put that
backhand's off
anywhere
the
she wants
chain.
to.
Her
Yeah,
backhand's off the chain. It's just her forehand's below average compared to everything else that she does.
yeah. All right. Well, let's go on and get to the ball and parlay to pick for today. We're both going to ride with our boy Cilic. He's an oldie but goodie. He's coming back around. This guy's been on the tour for a long time. He used to be a top 5 player, maybe about 10 years ago. He's found his game again. He's every year he wins a tournament or so. In the 250 range. He's a good player. He sliced and diced poor Medvedev the other day. Made him look bad. He was just toying with him. And luckily I had Cilic at plus 290. And only part of that game I lost was match that I lost was the third game. I decided to be smart and go jump in and take Medvedev the hedge, and I ended up losing some money that I shouldn't even gave back. Cilic rolled him. He broke him like 3 times in the final set. So Cilic is hot right now, and he'll be facing Andre Rublev. Rublev is a good player. He's another one of those guys that has problems dealing with his nerves. He has real problems in big matches, being able to calm down and play his game. He makes a lot of errors in big matches. Sometimes the pressure gets to him and he doesn't respond well. So I like the veteran Cilic. He beat him the last time they faced each other in the Australian Open, 3-1. Before that, though, Rublev had won 3 straight. But I just think on this clay, I think Cilic is feeling real good after beating a player of Medvedev's quality, and I think that he'll be prepared for Rublev. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, Cilic's one of those players that we had kind of written off, right? I mean, when was his U.S. Open one? 2014, right? So it's 8 years past that. He's getting older, but hey, go back to my childhood again, right? Sometimes these great players, they have one last run, like Jimmy Connors, 89.
Yeah,
and it's a 39-year-old, right? And everybody's rooting for him, and it's the most fun thing. A lot of times, these guys
Agassi.
can
Remember
pull
the
it up.
Agassi had that late run?
Yeah, so they can do it for these short periods of time, and I feel like Cilic's doing it right now. And I also think because he's not playing like clay court specialist, right? Medvedev's not a clay court guy. Once again, I mean, like this feels like an Australian Open quarterfinal.
Yeah,
It doesn't feel like a French Open quarterfinal because of the way these guys play. And give Rublev credit, right? Because he was a one-dimensional basher who had no tactics, no consistency, no strategy. But he learned how to rally and then use his power when necessary. His improvement to jump into the top 10 was the fact that he now understands how to play points. Unfortunately, he's going against a veteran who just is really going well here. And once again, this is a nice price here. We're getting plus money for the guy that we think is playing better, has a little more big match experience, especially on the mental side and on the strategy side, because while Rublev has improved his strategy, Cilic's been playing at his optimal strategy for a long time. So I think we got a great chance to get, it's a short underdog, but we got some plus money in play here, and that's the best way to attack tennis, man. You can't just line up and parlay all the favorites and get rich. I mean, they love when you do that. They love when you see all the favorites, because it doesn't work that way because of the nature of the game. Because it's not like basketball where every point's worth the same.
Right.
A break point is worth so much than we're winning a point on 40-0. So 40-love, excuse me. So just because of that, right, there can be like these widely variant things where a guy can play really well, right? I mean, how many times you see it? Man, I bet on this guy, but my guy's 1 of 11 on break points and his opponent's 2 of 2. I mean, these random things happen.
Sloan, same way. Sloan couldn't break. She had 1 million break points. Couldn't ever get over.
So there's a lot of variance here. So when you're betting this tennis, and I think you've got it if you watch the segment. We're always looking at the plus money. Because of the way the randomness works out, with just certain points being so much more important than other points.
Definitely.
So yeah, we got Marine Cilic.
Yeah, we got Cilic, and we're gonna be previewing the NBA Finals all this week, talking about it briefly about these games. The series starts on Thursday. I don't know. I'm gonna play the first game. With that 3.5, it's gonna be hard not to take the Warriors. It's such a short number. But we'll talk.
Spoiler alert! I'm gonna be on Golden State. Game 1. I love it.
Yeah, 3.5.
If the Celtics beat them, I think they have a way better chance in Game 2.
I see the Celtics more playing good in Game 2. I just feel like they're gonna.
I agree.
The first game, I feel like it's gonna be a brand new situation. First time in the finals. First time dealing with this much media for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart. Even Al Horford, he's been in the league 18 years, and this is his first time. So I think the Celtics. I think they said their team doesn't have. Yeah, they have no NBA Finals experience.
Wow, that's good knowledge there. That's good. I didn't realize Al Horford had never made it. That's unbelievable.
No, they have no NBA Finals experience, and the Warriors have some of the most NBA Finals experience in the whole league. So I expect them to adjust better to that opening night and everything that's going on, all the craziness around it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they end up beating Celtics pretty bad, and everybody thinks that it's going to be a runaway series after that. And that's when we'll go jump the second game on the Celtics maybe. But we'll be talking about that all week. Also, I'll be on talking about the finals on 97.5 in Houston on ESPN on Thursday too. If you guys have time, please tune in. 97.5 ESPN in Houston. I'll be on there 7:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time and 9:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Anything for the people before we get out of here, Spread?
No, man, it's going to be a fun week. Can't wait to really dive into these finals as it continues. And, let's try and get a French Open winner tonight.
All right, man. I'm about to go in here and go watch these two goats go at it. Watch old Joker and old Nadal battle it out. See if I can jump in and steal a little money on a set or two. And after that, I'll prepare for baseball later on tonight and be ready to get up in the morning and watch Cilic, man, so we can cash a check. We appreciate you guys for tuning in. Follow my guy Spread at Spread Astaire, and also subscribe to his YouTube channel, which is Spread Astaire. Follow me at 5 Star in Vegas, spell out the 5. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, 5 Star in Vegas Sports Investments. We're here on SCOON TV every day, Monday through Friday. Please subscribe to SCOON TV. Best of luck to you. I will see you.